Welcome back to the PokeDads MetaCall. I am your host, PokeDad Intern Drew. With me today is
Pokedad Rick, and holy cow, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, I'm glad that there are 3 things so we can abbreviate the amount of deck lists that we look at because people haven't posted their spice yet. They're too busy celebrating their wins. So,
but it's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out. We kind of know what they were playing, and we can just give our 2 cents of why they played it or how it ended up doing as well as it did.
Oh yeah, and there's one deck from Joinville that I'm really excited to talk about, but we'll start in Bilbao, which is in Bilbao, which is in Spain.
Which we did in Wikipedia how to pronounce it before we started.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because we're super American and don't know about the rest of the world. All right, well, Whimsicott V-Star won the whole thing, and by golly, it's crazy how this deck just kind of joined in halfway through, a little bit of showcasing at SLC, but immediately after, Whimsicott became a factor, and that's crazy that it's kind of hovering at the top right now.
I think it's not really crazy, but I like to see that we had 3 big events, and like each of the top 8 were like totally different from each other. Like we'll see like in Indy, like what was the top 8 in there compared to what we're talking about right now. It's interesting. It's interesting how different parts of the world people think differently when they're building their decks.
Absolutely, and our previous guest that we had on last week's podcast talked about how it's all based on reaction and how people see previous top 8s and then build based on those decks and how to counter everything that made it to the top 8. So it's very well said, and you really can't, describe it any other way. But Tord Reklev found his way back into a final, playing a very similar Urshifu list to what he played the last time. A lot of one-ofs, included the quick shooting Inteleon, played a 1 Ultra Ball, and he actually had to take a loss, like an auto loss on game 2, because one of those evolution incense was actually an Ultra Ball in the list that he submitted. So he ironically had to put that evolution incense back in
and not play with the Ultra Ball. Yeah.
And that's why he kind of separated it from the rest of them in these lists, which I thought was really funny. But other than that, playing the Spicy Metacham for the Yoga Loop, shenanigans, if you will.
And then we'll be talking about that card again anyways, so.
Oh, absolutely. It's so spicy. But again, he had time in between this special event and UIC and still didn't get another full art Sonya. I wonder if that's like a strategy to see that there's 2 different Sonya in the deck when they're deck checking. If you will.
Yeah. I said that last week. Remember? I was like, sometimes it's kind of easier when you have multiple different images of the same card because I find it's a little bit easier to remember when I'm going through. I'm like, there's one Sonya, and then you're like, oh, I don't see the other one, so it's prized. It's a good tech.
Yeah,
it's I hate it though.
Yeah.
I like everything to be consistent, and also,
That's how I feel too.
Yeah. Sorry, but one thing, because Rayhan's right there, and then I just watched the episode of Rayhan versus Ash, which was awesome. Your Duraludon, I'm sorry, gets his ass kicked by Mega Lucario, but it's cool. There's another Rayhan trainer card where he's throwing the Ultra Ball. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, when do we get that? That's what I want. That.
It'll rotate before we ever get it.
Oh, dude, we don't even know when rotation is. Here we are, almost mid-May, man. Maybe it's never happening. The conspiracy on Twitter.
Know. Tinfoil hats, eh? It's almost like the intern had mentioned that before. And then in 3rd place, we had Arceus V-Star with the Galarian Moltres package, playing 1V and then 2 of the Baby Galarian Moltres as well, which is pretty status quo. If you want to win the Mew matchup, play Dark Pokemon, and Arceus can really hold its own by Mew against Mew by itself. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got a Mew in 4th place, and this is kind of where we'll hang it up. And I'm going to get this image correct here in just a second. Boom. Look at that.
It's backwards. That's great. There it is.
No, it's Mew. It plays the 1 spicy Marnie, and that really all there is to it. Playing it super risky and close to the chest by using the 2 VMAX, but I understand the Psychic Leap is so important in this format right now. That's almost like your third best attack other than Technoblast and Melodious Echo. But the 4 Tower of Darkness is so sick.
What I like about the future, because you could probably say now Mew it's not considered the best deck in the format right now, like Arceus is, like because Arceus is just like such a broad statement. Is there because when we get to Astral Radiance and Darkrai is going to be this huge thing that's going to like look at Mew and be like your lunch. Is there a Fusion Strike grass Pokemon they can tech?
No.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I know. I was just curious if you knew.
But there was a Leafeon Mew list that existed for a while. It actually did really well in a couple Limitless events.
No, there was also one of our listeners played Mew at Indy, and he just rocked a 1/1 line of Jolteon. So why not? Right now,
yep.
Right?
Super sick. You hate shady dealings that much? Go for it, buddy. I would really like to see them try to toy around with the Ice Cube, though, the one that does Melodious Echo but 40 times.
I know, and I saw a couple decks run it at Indy. I saw. So
that's super sick, man. I think spicy tech. That's what Pokedads are all about.
I don't know if it gets you the win, but it's fun.
But fucking A, man, you get a high five from the Pokedads for it. And then we'll just kind of leave it at top 4. So Whimsicott taking first place, Rapid Striker, Shifu, Galarian, Moltres package kind of taking second, and then Arceus, Dark, Birds taking third, and Mew VMAX taking fourth, which feels so good.
It does, right?
And when Chrome kind of decides to work again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Gotta love it. And Joinville. And I am so excited to talk about this first place list. Like, you don't even know. It's killing me.
It's because you just love it so much. It's killing you.
I do. I just love it so much. It's freaking Lucario Arceus, man. Taking first place, and it played a Mew deck in the final. Let's go.
One thing to me, it's one interesting because on Twitter we saw a couple fans that were kind of running this deck earlier, and they chose not to play Lucario because they felt like the damage wasn't as much as they were hoping for, so they swapped out Lucario for Corviknight, and they saw some success in Indy. So it's funny to see where someone's like, oh, I'm not really feeling it, but they kept this idea over the Corviknight, and it's like, oh, I almost, you know what, I'm just gonna win the whole thing with it. Like it's crazy.
Why they played Corviknight, right?
The weakness.
It's Steel Weak, and it has the potential to get 3-shot by the stupid Whimsicott.
Yeah.
So I think that could be rectified by just attacking with Duraludon V, but that's just me.
I know. But it's just interesting. I like where people's minds at in different players, and shout out to, is that just 1 gold fighting energy and 2 classics in there? That's pretty nice. I like it.
That is correct. Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, so what I like, because we didn't see so many bears rise to the top other than Tord Reklev, and that's just because he's a monster.
Yeah.
Lucario can handle Hoopa, and people are putting Hoopas in these decks thinking that it's going to win them the bear or the fighting matchup in general. But Lucario V-Star, even with the double turbo energy attached, can one-hit KO Hoopa, where Urshifu cannot because it's not weak to fighting.
Exactly.
So that's a huge part of why Lucario saw any success, is because people were throwing in Hoopas left, right, and sideways and putting down the path to the peak, not getting swung into for weakness unless it's Mew. But then you have the full dark package in the form of their own Hoopa and the Crobat VMAX to kind of handle that scenario. So really cool list, really cool deck, plays an incredible amount of tech in the form of a Galarian Zigzagoon, Pumpkaboo, Manaphy, and Dunsparce. They were ready for anything, man.
I love that the beavers in there. We didn't see a lot of beavers in Indy and like making it in the top 16. Everyone's still running shady dealings, and being able to just feel comfortable with the beaver now it's great, because that's going to be our card for the next, hopefully, it could be the next year or the next 2 years. Who knows what the situation of draw power is going to be like, but it's good for them. Get it out there, easy, draw 5 cards, Let's go. Let's fucking go, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Let's fucking go. Beaver all the way. And then in second place was Mew VMAX. We don't unfortunately have the list right now, which feels really bad. And if I'm not mistaken, Mateus's list is on Facebook, and I don't have access to that.
That's
so
fine. It's a
we
Mew
can't
deck.
Look at that.
What do you do?
Well, no, it's an Arceus Inteleon deck.
Oh.
and he took third place. And then fourth place was another Mew deck. This one not quite as spicy as the previous one we looked at. This one's very streamlined, plays 3 of the Salt Lake City bosses, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, 4 counts of everything, plays the 3 Rotom phone, plays the Chromatic, which is so expensive in Japan. The 1 of basic energy plus the training court makes, I don't know, for easy Ultra Ball plays in some scenarios too, just to have that extra card to discard that isn't important. But yeah, it's Mew, and congrats for taking third, fourth. And now we're going to get into Indy, which was super duper exciting to watch. And this is, I'll be honest, I only watched Indy all weekend. I didn't watch any of the special events or Joinville at all.
It's okay. I do need to give a shout out to Summer real quick though. And that's shout out to Pokedad Aaron. I'm so proud of you that you focused on the whole thing this weekend. It means a lot, brother. I'm glad a Pokedad paid attention to what was going on.
Yeah. No, super duper cool. It was neat to see him kind of chime in the Discord, because we don't often hear from him on his days off, but it was nice.
And he's like, "Hey guys, check this out. They said something about Boo."
I watched Pokemon. So then we're gonna go look at Ian Rob's first place Arceus Galarian Bird box, and it's beautiful
stupid.
weakness box.
It's stupid.
It's a beautiful, dude. It has an answer to everything, bro. It's so sick.
Oh my god.
This dude has a tendency to just slap a pile of cards together and make it work. And there's one deck building strategy that I firmly stand by. And if you're gonna play 1 energy switch, you might as well play 2. And I was thrilled to see that his list had 2, because if it ends up in your first hand and you need to research on that first hand, it's like you never had one to begin with, and it always ends up in that first hand. So 2 energy switch is thrilling for me. Plus the Tom Brady card as his V-Star marker. You can't go wrong there.
It's great. One thing going back, he said, like, going through a situation, energy switch is just so important, which I agree too. Of all the testing I was doing, I played 1 and then I switched up to 2 because I found that I needed a lot. It was just easy. You're like, you know what? I already got an energy down in one situation. I just need to move this. And then sometimes even rocking that with Rayhan, it just felt like I was cheating. I was like breaking the game. I was like, bruh.
Yeah. How am I getting so much energy and playing 1 turn?
It felt good. It feels really good.
It's broken.
But I still like the whole tool scrapper thing where he didn't play the tool scrapper, which I feel like is ballsy. There's just so much stuff right now that everyone's attaching. I just want to get rid of it. I want to get rid of it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean he teched for specific matchups, and the route that he took to get there, he got those specific matchups. I think what's scariest about all of this is running 2 double turbo energy, and on several occasions he prized 1 of them, and I'm like, oh god, it must be so hard to dig for that, especially with how prevalent the Arceus decks that play Path are now. But man, he played the hell out of this deck. There were so many games, especially on stream, where it looked like there was no comeback potential, and he found routes, man. The Claras kept him in the game, able to keep benched Pokemon around.
Well, let's talk about the finals. Let's talk about with him and his little fighting guy. That was insane. That was the play of the whole flipping tournament.
Yeah, Metachan was cool. He did pull off a really cool yoga loop in the finals, and it ended up being a game deciding thing. So, GG's, you build a hell of a deck and you play the hell out of it. And I'm so looking forward to Ian Robb continuing to be like the Pokemon meme of this championship season.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. Good job, Mr. Baby. I'll tell you that, Mr. Baby.
Mr. Baby. Yeah. And then Isaiah Bradner. playing the Arceus
Bees!
Beedrill list.
The bees,
We
man.
were so pumped on this after NIAC. We were thrilled to see that this was like an actual deck, and then a whole gang of dudes just played the shit out of Arceus Beedrill.
That made me
this
so
weekend.
happy.
And
I've honestly,
it saw so much success.
Yeah. I like. All right. So one of my favorite things about the Beedrill, and I didn't think of it doing this either, and it's just my inexperience because I teched it in my deck like last week, so I was just messing with it. But like I only put it out when I felt like I needed it. The idea of like baiting it too, like it never crossed my mind in that situation. And all these guys were like, "Oh, I'm just gonna put it down on the bench. Fuck it. Like, what are you gonna do about it?"
Yeah.
And then they have to use resources because they're scared of it. Like I was like, God damn it, what? This is not why I'm a champion right now. Like it's silly how easy it is. Sorry.
Especially against like Arceus decks that play like maybe a max of 2 boss, or Mew decks that play a solid 3 boss and don't play any supporter recall. Having to waste the whole boss to go take 1 prize to
Feels
not
good.
risk losing 3 prizes is such a smart prize trade. It is insane, the big brain plays that are made with this freaking Beedrill deck.
I honestly thought it was gonna win it all, bro. Like I honestly thought, but it just didn't work out.
It didn't get the matchup it wanted, man. He only played 2 double turbo energy in the whole Arceus list.
I know. It was smart.
There were so few chances, man. But Isaiah Bradner is just so humble. He was so excited to play any form of Pokemon, regardless of the result. 2-0, 2-1, goes down 1, and then wins the next 2.
Him and Ian, because there was a picture of them having lunch together that on Sunday too.
Well, these dudes aged up together.
Yeah.
So, like, before COVID, they were both playing seniors, and then now they're playing masters. So I think that they're all a part of a tight-knit group of competitors from that very small player group.
Gotcha.
That are now aged up into this much larger one and kind of stuck together.
That's dope.
Which is super sick to see. That's what the Pokemon community is all about, man. But yeah, every game that he started Manaphy, he won. So that was like his go-to. He was so thrilled. He was spinning the card around on stream just because he was excited and he knew he was going to win the game because he started Manaphy. It was so funny. And then we'll go take a look at... I don't think Andrew Estrada's list is available because it's on Facebook. But it was a Mew VMAX list. It did play a Marnie, which was funny, and everybody on stream kind of knew he had the Marnie. They were just wondering when he would play it.
Yeah. I saw him pull it off.
And
yeah, it was funny. He was like, wait, what? Like we talked about last week. Like, oh, Marnie? Bro.
Yeah. Yeah, and then watching that stream, too, I learned a very, very important thing. Don't shuffle your deck and then look for resources after you had played the Ultra Ball. Because once you have started shuffling, your search window is over. And I didn't know that. Like, I'm not a judge. And I play very little IRL Pokemon in comparison to a lot of these competitors. But they had to stop the whole game. Because the dude played an Ultra Ball, whiffed it on purpose, shuffled the deck, and then kind of fanned it open to see what was in there after.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and he appealed, so it was resolved. Like, no prize cards were given or taken because of it. But it was a big learning experience for a guy like me.
It was also, what was in the top 4? Someone Marnied, and instead of him grabbing 5, he grabbed only 4, and then he played Rotom, whatever.
Oh, the Rotom phone?
Yeah. So they had to call the judge because they didn't know what happened in that situation. Because one, they don't know what he would have drawn in his 5th card, and then he ready shuffled and put the card on top. And that was a big ordeal. That's a bummer. I guess, when you're so nervous, especially when you're up there, like, I don't know what it's like, but any kind of situation when thousands of people are watching you, it can be a little high strung for sure.
Yep. No, absolutely. I would imagine your nerves are just shot, especially if you're on day 2. You've probably been on stream a couple times. That's a big stage. It's a big platform. People are not only watching you online and watching from home, and your parents are sending the link to all their buddies, like, look at my kid's hands. But you're also like sitting in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah, my favorite part though is finding out their prizes. I never thought I'd be so excited. That's like my favorite part of every match. Is like it begins, flip, and then you're like, oh my god, 2 Drizziles, 2 Sobbles, 2 Fusion Strike Energies. What is he gonna do in this situation? Like it's so funny. And I guess like my question is, do they have to pull from bottom top? Like everyone just grabs the bottom, then the middle, and then the top to win the game. Like sometimes I like to just pick at it. Like, can I just pick at it?
I think it's status quo to grab from the bottom, but also it would look really sus if you like grabbed bottom left corner and top right corner. Someone on stream would be like, marked cards. He knew what he was grabbing.
I'll appeal it, man. Sometimes I just like to know that I have 6 cards in there. One of the cards I need is right here. I'm not gonna risk it in the top 2, man. I got 1 out of 6 chance. I'm gonna just mess with it. Someone needs to tweet at me. Is that the thing? Like they have to? It's like an unwritten rule in the Pokemon TCG world. You cannot grab from the top or middle. It must be from the bottom up.
Right. No, it's probably a real thing, but honestly, I think in a situation where your nerves are that high, you're like, just grab the prize cards closest to me, and let's get back to business.
Yeah, well, I'll get a full feel of it when I'm on it in Milwaukee, so I'll let you know how it goes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And then Andrew Weiss, 4th place with Arceus V-Star, Inteleon, Galarian Moltres, same dark package. A lot of utility between Starbirth and Shady Dealings, and then an honorable mention to Michael Long, the Greninja in the lap guy.
I like it.
The dude they named the Radiant Greninja after.
I know it's flipping amazing. But it's a super exciting weekend for everything. It just makes me, I don't know, I'm just stoked for New Jersey. We'll see what happens with that because if I'm mistaken, right, that's the first set with Arsenal Radiance, right? Astral Radiance, not Arsenal, sorry.
I'll have to double check because they are going to abide by set release rules, not PTCGO rules. So
it would be 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks after the set release. So maybe it's not that.
So I think Milwaukee's the first one that's going to have legal
then
Radiance.
Let's go. Like, I'm going to get all that stuff proxy. We're going to listen to the intern. We're going to FaceTime in every time we're practicing. We know Darkrai is going to be fucking huge, but I'm not going to play Darkrai because if it's weak to grass, I guess we got to have to play grass. So
I'm telling you, man, Hisuian Lilligant looks real appetizing right about now.
I know. I gotta play it though. Like I'm not just gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna play grass. I'm gonna play the best possible deck possible for Milwaukee. Like I'm gonna figure out what the meta. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna build it. But anyways, pretty stoked on all this. If you guys didn't know, we had Ethan Hegster on last week. It's a fabulous episode. So if you haven't checked it out, please listen to that before our new episode on Friday. And get ready for the last Hegster tournament that we're sponsoring this weekend, the 14th and 15th. It's regional style, so it'll be a day 1, day 2. Your boy, Intern Drew, will be participating. I'm super stoked for him. He's gonna make day 2. He's gonna take off one of those checks that he wants. That's his first day 2, bro. I got this.
Nah, I do appreciate that. But if you were going to play in the Hegster this weekend, what would you play?
Bees.
You'd play bees?
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling Arceus bees too, but I think that might be an oversight right now. So I think Urshifu with plenty of basic energy would be my go-to.
And the song is, hey man, take Slippery Bear with you, have fun with it. I feel like a tournament's gonna wake up and be like, I did see a lot of people playing Manaphy. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a staple now. But we'll go on. I think you should just play both of them this week and see what you feel comfortable with, and whatever you're comfortable with, you'll go with it.
I'm about 10 games away from completing the ladder reset with Duraludon, so I think I'll finish that.
Okay.
And then it'll be bear time.
We'll see. Sure. We'll see what happens. This mofo's been playing Magic the Gathering for 2 weeks, so
you're not wrong. It's a better client. PTCGO, step your shit up.
Anything else, buddy, before we get out of here?
No, that'll be it, man. I'm super looking forward to everything going forward, and then talking about Indy with some special guests.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was funny because I forgot about it, and then Drew was like, "No, this is happening." I was like, "Oh, oh yeah,
Yeah, my show. I knew that was happening. Duh.
duh, that's how it
Stupid
is."
intern. Right on.
All
All
right.
right. Well, this concludes the MetaCall, and thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out the podcast on Friday and watch the stream Thursday night.
Oh, real quick, are you streaming at all this week?
I will be streaming this week. Yes,
All
probably
right.
not tomorrow because I have locals tomorrow and work, but Wednesday we'll get back on it.
All right. I love you all. Deuces.